As I look across the audience, as a simple firefighter, it dawns on me that many of you are probably wondering, how did I end up here today at a police function? So let's review. One possibility is that Captain Coates hauled me in for questioning after determining that I was an unregistered camper up at Nike Park. Another possibility is that Captain Gately invited me over with an incredible offer to shuffle and file some papers with him, and then be able to go down to the range with my Nerf gun and give it a try. And the last possibility is that Support Services Manager Mullen promised me that this evening, if I invested a few hours with you today, I could talk on the radio. Yeah. Truly, though, what happened is if we look back to 1990, I took the exam. And like all of us that want to go into public safety, you have to achieve a certain score on the exam to be invited into the family. And unfortunately, all of you in law enforcement know this, you have to score higher on the exam to get into law enforcement than you do to get into the fire department. So, after realizing that that opportunity was not going to come to be, I wandered down the street and found myself at the fire department, where they welcomed me and my very low score. Today, we get to gather in mass for the first time in over a year. Wow. I don't think any of us could have imagined how challenging the past year was going to be. What a change to our lifestyle, our thought process, our ability to come together and celebrate each other. So it's pretty awesome that we're here together now. Chief Lowe, command staff, police officers and staff of the department, family, and friends, I am deeply honored to be able to serve here today and assist with this wonderful celebration. We're gathering to celebrate teamwork, dedication, and an incredible commitment to service that all of you in the Redmond Police Department demonstrate daily. You are professional to the end, and you always deliver for our community. What a blessing it is for all of us to be here, supported by all of you. Our first item today is the swearing in of our recently promoted members and the assignments to corporal. For that, Chief Lowe will come forward and administer the oath.
If we could have Brian Coates join me up front, please. If you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Brian Coates,
having been duly appointed to the office of captain
of
the city of Redmond, Washington, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of my office as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability, and that I will support and maintain the ordinances of the city of Redmond and the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington and of the United States of America. So help me God. Congratulations, Captain.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Tim Gately, if you could join me, please. If you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
I, Timothy James Gately,
having been duly appointed to the office of captain
having been duly appointed to the office of captain
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
and that I will support and maintain
and that I will support and maintain
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
and the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington
and the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Captain.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. I'll leave this up here for you. Lieutenant Ryan George, could you join me, please? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Ryan George,
having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
to the office of lieutenant
to the office of lieutenant
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
and that I will support and maintain
and that I will support and maintain
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
and the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington
and the laws of the Constitution of the state of Washington,
and the United States of America,
the United States of America,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. I'll give you this. Ryan. Lieutenant Beard, could you join me, please?
Custom-made accessory.
Very nice. You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Julie Lorraine Baird,
having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
to the office of lieutenant
to the office of lieutenant
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
as prescribed by law and the best of my ability,
and that I will support and maintain
and that I will support and maintain
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
and the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington
and the laws and the Constitution of the state of Washington
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. All right. Sergeant Shevington, could you join me, please? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Sabrina Shevington,
having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
to the office of sergeant
to the office of sergeant
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
of the city of Redmond, Washington,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
as prescribed by law and to the best of my ability,
and that I will and that I will support and maintain
and that I will support and maintain
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
the ordinances of the city of Redmond
and the laws of the Constitution of the state of Washington
and the laws of the Constitution of the state of Washington
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Sergeant. That's it for you. Back to you, sir.
Chief Lowe, I think we're going to have you stay up and announce the corporal appointments.
Got it. If I got to have Dan Smith, Kenny Lott, and Tay Jones, please join me up front. So there's no official swearing in for corporals, but I just want you guys to come up front and for friends and family and those out there on Facebook Live to acknowledge these three gentlemen that have just promoted to the rank of corporal within the Redmond Police Department. So congratulations, gentlemen, on your appointment to corporal.
Congratulations, one and all, on taking the next step in leadership in your agency. Next, we want to acknowledge those who have received Employee of the Quarter recognition outside of this ceremony over the past year, and we want to present the Employee of the Quarter Award for second quarter 2021. Nominations for these awards are brought to leadership at meetings and voted on by those in attendance. As you will see in the listing of recipients, there are a variety of actions that can contribute to this recognition and award. I would ask the following awardees to come forward. Bob Peterson. Vicki Alexandrik.
Okay, I'm like, got it.
Bo Collins. Natalie D'Amico. And Christine Mitchell. These are the recipients of the Employee of the Quarter Awards. For first quarter 2020, Officer Bob Peterson. Bob, raise your hand. There we go. For his informal leadership, positive relationships with the community, and community-oriented approach to policing. Congratulations, Bob. In second quarter of 2020, Support Services Specialist Vicki Alexandrik. Raise your hand, Vicki. For her flexibility during the early period of COVID and the impacts that it had, and for her dedication to learning and her quick responses to all requests for help. Congratulations, Vicki. In the third quarter of 2020, Sergeant Bo Collins. For his work as a firearms instructor, active shooter response instructor, field training officer, squad leader for SWAT, and his ongoing commitment to the corporal position. Congratulations, Bo. In the fourth quarter of 2020, Officer Natalie D'Amico, for her leadership and positive relationships with fellow officers and our community, her commitment to mentoring others, and her passion for educating the public on the why and how police do what they do. Congratulations, Natalie. In the first quarter of this year, Detective Christine Mitchell. There?
I know I'm wide, but she's not over.
Okay. Detective Mitchell was recognized for her exemplary investigative ability and her work on a complex, public-facing, and emotionally challenging case. Congratulations to Christine, wherever she might be. Thank you all for your outstanding work and commitment to our community and your department. Now we're going to present this. I think we should have the first quarter award winner and the 2020 award winners probably go sit down because I think you're going to present the second quarter, aren't you, for this year?
Thank you. Bo. Exit stage right.
All right, one more round of applause for all the winners from 2020 and first quarter of this year. At this time, please welcome Lieutenant Marty Fuller. He's going to present the second quarter award for 2021.
I'm going to go off script. Sergeant Bullerud, can you come on up here? Detective Brian Hood. Brian's been in the detective division for about 6 or 8 months, and he's doing a great job. I'm going to let Sergeant Bullerud present the award to him.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. I have supervised Detective Hood both in patrol and in detectives, and so I nominated for this award, and they are going to allow me to present it. So, good. Employee of the Quarter, second quarter of 2021 for Detective Brian Hood. Detective Brian Hood has an unparalleled work ethic and good attitude, which has been evident no matter what role he has been tasked with. His investigative abilities become a second to none, a feat he has accomplished in just 6 months in CID. Detective Hood is also the current department subject matter expert on complex and technically difficult geofence warrants. His warrants have garnered praise from some of the top prosecutors in King County. Detective Hood's investigative skills are complemented by his eagerness to take on cases and assist patrol whenever possible. He is often seen at patrol calls, helping even before a call for assistance goes out. His investigative ability and his dedication to teamwork has put him in a class above. Not only does he volunteer to take cases frequently, he currently has one of the highest caseloads of any detective. Detective Hood has taken an interest in several outside agency task forces and investigative teams. Detective Hood's dedication to the department and the community members of the City of Redmond demonstrates a commitment to service, representing the department's core values of respect, professionalism, dedication, and leadership.
Congratulations. And I'd like to present you with both a Chief's Challenge coin and a Department Challenge coin.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it very much.
Congratulations, Detective Brian Hood, our award winner for second quarter 2021. At this time, I would like to invite any representatives of the Redmond Police Foundation to join us as we recognize Redmond Police Department's Officer of the Year and Staff Member of the Year. The Support Staff Member Award and the Officer of the Year Award are the Employee of the Year Awards for the Redmond Police Department. They're based on nominations received throughout the year for Employee of the Quarter and nominations from any department or staff member of the City of Redmond. Every year in the first quarter, the entire city votes on who the recipients of these awards are going to be. These recipients were recognized earlier in the year by the city, and we take this opportunity to acknowledge and applaud their awards today. The Police Foundation is supporting these awards with a gift for each recipient. First up, recognizing the Officer of the Year Award, please welcome Lieutenant Beard and Lieutenant George.
Oh, Facebook Live, yes, you're right. I thought I got out of engagement. I don't have to do that anymore. Officer Natalie D'Amico, can you please come up? I'm going to say some great things about you. Are you ready? Officer Natalie D'Amico is our Officer of the Year. She exemplifies leadership and positive relationships with her fellow officers and the community. During this year, she served as both an FTO, a field training officer, and a mentor to several of our newest officers. These new officers reported every time that Natalie had a positive impact on their growth as an officer through her proactive, high-energy approach to patrol. She was and is inspiring and informative. Most of all, they appreciated her ability to provide feedback that was supportive and useful without making them feel incapable. I'm going to pause because that's pretty special. It is apparent that Officer D'Amico enjoys mentoring others, and it fuels her passion for this job. Her positive energy is contagious for the entire team and has been helpful while navigating through the lows of this pandemic. She has recently been selected as a peer support team member. She is passionate about educating the public on the why and the how police do what they do. She joined the Community Equity Action Team and has been giving voice to humanizing police officers, as well as listening to the community to hear their voices. Officer D'Amico's dedication to the department and the citizens of the City of Redmond demonstrates a commitment to service, representing the department's core values of respect, professionalism, dedication, and leadership.
On behalf of the Redmond Police Foundation and its Board of Directors, I want to congratulate you on being appointed or selected by your peers as Officer of the Year. Because of your dedication and your sustaining ability to interface with the community, Redmond is a safer place for all of us to live and work. As a small token of our appreciation, I want to give you this gift as a small token, as I said, for your dedication on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Redmond Police Foundation. Congratulations.
Next, please welcome Lieutenant Marty Fuller to present and recognize the Support Services Member of the Year.
Thank you, sir. Can you hold that for a second? No, I need some help here. There we go. I'll have to read this one. Tanya Mcmillan. I think Tanya wants to be up here just about as much as I do. Tanya is one of our crime analysts, and she works in our detective division, and she does so much work behind the scenes that it's pretty awesome. I'm going to read right up for her now. Crime analyst Tanya Mcmillan is a pleasure to work with. Throughout 2020, she balanced the move to remote work, partnering with employees who are still working in the field and maintained a high quality of work and dedication that she always has. Tanya is enthusiastic, detail-oriented, and committed to high-quality work. She makes herself available to people all over the area for analysis work, maintaining working knowledge of cases and suspects of note from all over the region. She is at times a walking encyclopedia, that's no joke, of auto theft, car prowl suspects, and uses this information to help link cases to solve crimes. And she does that across the entire King County region, Pierce County, Snohomish County. Crime analyst Mcmillan's care for her work means she's always pushing out high-quality bulletins, emails, and communication. She exemplifies Redmond Police Department's values of respect in her relationships, professionalism and dedication in her work, and leadership in her regional networking. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And then also for you, a Chief's Challenge coin and a Department Challenge coin. Congratulations again. I'll take that from you.
Tanya, on behalf of the Redmond Police Foundation and its Board of Directors, I'm happy to present you, congratulate you on being chosen as the Support Staff Member of the Year. You're a small token of our appreciation for your service. On behalf of the foundation, I'm pleased to present you this small token as our appreciation for keeping our community safe. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Officer of the Year D'Amico and Support Staff Member Mcmillan. Would any members of the foundation wish to address the audience at this time? Since they're not rushing up here, we'll continue on. Thank you all for your dedicated work and commitment, and our thanks to the Redmond Police Foundation for helping support the officers and staff members in their work. Next, we have the Meritorious Service Awards. These are presented to department members who distinguish themselves by action or service. Chief Lowe will lead us in the presentation of the Life-Saving Awards and a letter of recognition with assistance of the command staff.
Hi, guys. Appreciate that. Officer Mike Barnes, can you please join me? On July 20th, 2021, Officer Michael Barnes, Officer Natalie D'Amico, and Officer Scott Overman responded to a multiple vehicle collision on Redmond Way in the downtown area. A driver who was suffering from an unknown medical condition lost control of his vehicle and crossed the center line of the road, striking multiple vehicles in the oncoming lane. Officer Barnes and Officer D'Amico arrived quickly and found a male still in his vehicle, who one caller described as having had a heart attack. Officer D'Amico retrieved an AED, while Officer Barnes removed the man's shirt. The AED did not advise to shock, and then Officer Barnes, D'Amico, and Overman removed the man from the vehicle and began CPR. Officer Barnes and D'Amico rotated back and forth, performing chest compressions, while Officer Overman helped manage the crowd until the Redmond Fire Department arrived and took over his care. Later, after the man was transported to the hospital, Officer Overman found his wife, who was out walking, and was able to take her to the hospital to be with her husband. The officers' actions were very much appreciated by the fire department, as they later wrote that they were set up for success due to the forward-leaning officers who blocked off the area, giving us all a safe workspace, as well as initiating life-saving care to the gentleman who appeared to have suffered a medical event prior to the accident. The patient was transported to Overlake Hospital with as much of a chance for survival as we could give him. The officers' quick thinking, cohesive teamwork, and excellent use of their issued equipment assisted in the prompt care of a local community member and compassionate assistance to his family during their time of need. It is with pride, gratitude, and appreciation that this life-saving award is presented to Officer Michael Barnes for his quick thinking, remaining calm under pressure, and utilizing his training and equipment to save a life. Your actions on July 20th, 2021 represent the department's values of professionalism, dedication, and a commitment to service to the community members of Redmond. Your actions bring great credit to our organization. Congratulations. So, there's the award. And also Department Challenge Coin and Chief Challenge Coin to recognize your work. Thank you. Yes.
I'd like to ask Officer D'Amico to join us. Also in that story you heard about Officer Scott Overman. He's not able to, is Scott here? I don't think so. He wasn't able to join us. And then I'd like to invite forward the survivor, Mr. Tim O'Brien, and his family to join us.
Thank you.
You heard the chief read the citation, and Mr. O'Brien, if you'll stay here for just a moment, we would like your help in pinning the life-saving ribbons on each of the officers. So with that, here is the formal presentation of the life-saving ribbon.
Maybe.
I got nothing but time. 2 weeks ago, not so much. Now I got a little more.
Small clasp. kind of like a kid's toy at Christmas. You got ties and. There's one.
Be interesting.
Right.
Right chest, left chest.
Right under the badge. No, no blood, please.
I'm trying to remember. See, I don't have the fingers to do this. Well, it's only fair. You broke 3 of my ribs. Yeah, not too bad. It's still a funny one. Must have been funny in the picture of you standing up to give me CPR, though. It must have been.
And Mr. O'Brien, we'd like to invite you to say a few words if you're so inclined.
I'll be brief. You guys, I've got my brother-in-law, my sister, my son, my daughter, my wife. I've got family members across the state. I've got my mother who lives in Issaquah now, and they're all grateful for the actions that were happening on the stage. I have absolutely no idea what happened. I wake up in the ICU and they tell me things, and I'm just amazed at what I hear about how everything transpired with the police department, the fire department, and like I said in a letter to the police chief and the fire department, that 28 years ago I made a decision to move back to Redmond. That single decision was the most important decision of my life. That decision saved my life. These people, I can't say enough. For the Barnes and the D'Amico family, to be proud of your relatives is one thing, but to give me another shot is really another thing. And I appreciate everything they did. I really wasn't planning on speaking, so I hand it back over to you guys and just thank you very much.
Welcome. You'll get this done. Don't want you to run off. We have a little swag bag for you, sir.
I don't recommend this time to get a swag bag.
Okay. Officer Zach Perkins, could you join me up front, please? On July 10th, 2021, Officer Zach Perkins responded to a medical AED call at the Sammamish Forest Manor pool located at 2410 170th Avenue Northeast. A frantic caller reported that a male was down and not breathing. When Officer Perkins arrived, a civilian male was performing CPR on a male who was lying on the ground near the pool. An obviously extremely upset family was present. Officer Perkins ran over to the subject and took over performing CPR on the male. Fire and aid units arrived and took over CPR. They were eventually able to detect a pulse from the male and subsequently transported him to Overlake Medical Center in Bellevue. Due to his fast response and immediate assistance in providing CPR, Officer Perkins positively contributed to the successful life-saving efforts with this incident. It is with great pride and gratitude and appreciation that this life-saving award is presented to Officer Zach Perkins for his quick thinking, remaining calm under pressure, and utilizing his training to save a life. Your actions on July 10th, 2021 represented the department's values of professionalism, dedication, and a commitment to service to the community members of Redmond. Your actions bring great credit to our organization, Zach. Thank you. And with that, that'll be your life-saving award, and also your Chief Challenge coin and Department Challenge coin. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Officer Dan Mcnamara. On October 16, 2020, Officer Dan Mcnamara responded to a report of a medical AED call at a downtown bar. This involved a citizen performing CPR on a victim who was believed to be suffering from a drug overdose. Officer Mcnamara located the subject in a parking lot to a neighboring business. The subject was found to have a pulse but had a clammy appearance and was otherwise unresponsive. Despite the friends of the victim claiming to already have administered Narcan, Officer Mcnamara elected to issue his department-issued dose of Narcan as well. Redmond Fire, who arrived on scene a short time later, commended the efforts of Officer Mcnamara, suggesting his actions had saved the patient's life. It is with great pride, gratitude, and appreciation that this life-saving award is presented to Officer Dan Mcnamara for his quick thinking, remaining calm under pressure, and utilizing his training and equipment to save a life. Dan, your actions on October 16, 2020 represent the department's values of professionalism, dedication, and a commitment to service to the community members of Redmond, and your actions bring great credit to the organization. Thank you. Another life-saving award for you, and then both a Department Challenge coin and a Chief Challenge coin. Thank you again. Thank you. Excellent. Could Officer Jamie Ford join me up front, please? Congratulations. On June 24th, 2021, Officer Jamie Ford responded to a report of a male who was slumped over the steering wheel of his vehicle and not responsive. Officer Ford ran the vehicle and immediately noticed signs of narcotics use. The male was not responsive to Officer Ford's attempts to wake him. He had shallow breathing and his eyes were not open. Officer Ford knew from his training and experience that the subject was in immediate need of intervention to prevent a deadly overdose. Officer Ford unwrapped his issued Narcan nasal spray, tilted the subject's head back, and injected the reversal drug. His actions worked and the subject began to regain consciousness. Medics arrived on the scene and began evaluating the patient. The battalion chief on scene said that Officer Ford's actions most likely prevented a lethal overdose of the patient. Jamie, it was a great pride, gratitude, and appreciation that this life-saving award is being presented to you for your quick thinking, remaining calm under pressure, and utilizing your training and equipment to save a life. Your actions on June 24, 2021 represent the department's values of professionalism, dedication, and a commitment to service to the community members of Redmond. Your actions bring great credit to our organization. Thank you again. Of course, you have others. And of course, both the Chief Challenge coin and the Department Challenge coin. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all the recipients of the Life-Saving Award.
Okay, so they're doing.
Allow me a moment to go off script. It's always dangerous when you put a microphone in a firefighter's hand. But I really feel that I need to share with you a unique perspective that I have. After more than 3 decades of service in the city of Redmond, I think I'm uniquely positioned to shine a bright light on something that maybe our community is not aware of. While all of our firefighters are trained as either EMTs or paramedics, we respond from the station or from a training drill. And that adds a delay of 60 to 90 seconds compared to our friends in public safety who are out constantly on patrol. They're out on the street. They've got a head start. And it makes a huge difference. They do not ever hesitate to get involved. They're committed to saving lives. They have a little bit different skill set than I do. And in all fairness, they're probably afraid of running into a burning building. But when you need them, the citizens, our public, they're there for you. And you need to take a moment and reflect on that. I have great pride in what our Redmond police officers are able to do. and how they get engaged in making a difference. I personally have seen them apply tourniquets to stop life-threatening bleeding. They've administered Narcan, they've started CPR. And in every one of those cases, they did it long before the firefighters were able to arrive. They save lives. We owe them, and we should not forget. Please join me in a round of applause for our Redmond Police Department. Next, we will present department commendations for acts that bring great credit to the department and go beyond the member's basic assignment. Captain Gately and Support Services Manager Mullen will present the recognitions.
We have 8 individuals to recognize. Do you have the list close at hand, Master of Ceremonies? If you would invite those individuals forward.
ECS Mike Allen, Mike Peters, Lisa Robertson.
Good evening. Our emergency communications specialists aren't able to be here tonight because they work night shift and because the incident itself was at night. They're not able to be here. So in lieu of that, we'll present it later. But I want to read for you what was accomplished by those 3 individuals. On July 14th, 2021, emergency communications specialist Lisa Robertson answered a 911 call from a female reporting her sister's husband attempting to break into her parents' home. After getting basic information, she transferred the call to Mike Allen and returned her primary attention to working the police radio channel. During the response period, Lisa provided updated information to responding officers and maintained awareness of unit locations and approach strategies. Lisa was able to monitor the communication side of 2 active 911 calls while providing the high level of service to responding officers. Emergency communications specialist Mike Allen received the call transferred by Lisa. The call was from a female reporting her sister's husband attempting to break into her parents' home. She was scared for her children and extended family members in the home. ECS Allen worked to ensure the caller and her children were safe and was able to keep the caller engaged on the call. Emergency communications specialist Mike Peters took a 911 call from a female reporting her husband attempting to break into the parents' home. She was scared for her husband, her children, and her extended family. ECS Peters was able to keep the caller on task, receiving regular updates on where the subject was and what he was doing, so officers could have all necessary information as they responded. ECS Peters and Allen showed empathy and professionalism as they worked to ensure that the appropriate information was shared with the callers. They were able to help with the caller's anger and frustration as they stayed on the phone with them until the situation was resolved. The work that night by these 3 communications staff members reflects well on the department and specifically the communications professionals at Redmond and at agencies across the country. Those who answer 911 calls and dispatch police and other emergency services professionals truly are the first responders. It is with gratitude and great thanks that this department commendation is presented to Emergency Communications Specialist Lisa Robertson, Mike Allen, and Mike Peters for their demonstration of the values of respect, professionalism, dedication, leadership, and commitment to service. Please join me in a round of applause.
And I'd like to invite forward Captain Coates, Communications Supervisor Fisher, Lieutenant Beard, Sergeant Lincoln, Officer Scalepi, Officer Lopez, Program Coordinator Eggy Dennehy, and Program Coordinator J.J. Perry. In any response to a large-scale emergency, disaster, or in this case, a pandemic, we activate an emergency coordination center. The individuals you heard me read are listed in this citation as their actions going beyond their normal duties to help with the police response of our emergency coordination center during the COVID-19 outbreak. These people you see before you engaged in actions far beyond the call of duty and helped the entire city coordinate efforts to ensure a safe response for our community and our city personnel. Please join me in thanking them for their efforts.
Thank you guys all for the extra effort that you guys put in to help the city's COVID response as we managed and ran the ECC throughout the pandemic. Thank you. Thank you.
If I could get Robert Clemens and Rena Thompson to come forward, please. They are equally thrilled with being up here, I can assure you. The telestaff and workforce dimensions implementation has had some unintended consequences that have impacted many in the department. The work to make these systems work correctly is ongoing, and there are members of the department who continue to experience some payroll errors. That being said, over the past couple of months, 2 of our department employees have made the efforts to track down problems, record timekeeping errors, and recommend solutions. While there is still work to do outside of the department, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the selfless work of 2 of our own.
So, Rena, I want to thank you for all of your hard work. And for those of you in the department know, but Rena's my executive assistant, AKA my handler. So not only is she dealing with all the payroll issues, but she has to keep me on track for meetings and different things, which is no small task. So thank you for all that you do to include workforce dimensions and the payroll issues. Thank you. And then Mr. Clemens, same thing. Not only is he a dispatch supervisor, he has his own set of responsibilities and things to deal with a very active communication center. But he took it upon himself to dig into this problem and try and help figure it out, because it wasn't just a police problem. It's been a much bigger issue. But it's that type of dedication and selflessness that we're recognizing today. So thank you.
I'd like to invite forward Jill Smith and JJ Perry. Please join me. Jill Smith works for the City Office of Communications, and JJ Perry works as our crime prevention coordinator in the Community Engagement Unit. And I'd like to invite his supervisor, Sergeant Anne-Marie Fine, to join me as well to thank him. As you're beginning to hear, we all have our primary duties, and then we also engage in secondary and backup duties that aren't necessarily what we signed up for our daily job, but what needs to get done. You probably saw a couple of our officers in different uniforms than you're used to seeing. I want to thank our partners at North Sound Metro for joining us today. Those officers you're seeing in the different uniforms are part of our special tactics team, along with our crisis negotiators that respond to people in crisis, and they stepped away from training to be here for our awards. As for these 2 in front of me, Jill, JJ, you have my personal thanks. You have the thanks of the city and the chief and the command staff. During the last 2 months, the police department has been without a full-time public information officer. And during those 2 months, we've continued to re-message precautions for COVID-19, and we've also had reason to be in the national media spotlight. And you never really want to be in the national media spotlight, and you definitely don't want to be in the spotlight without your primary public information officer. JJ routinely acts as one of our backup information officers, and in this case, he stepped up and worked a lot of long hours, phone calls throughout the night, and then came back in during the day to help communicate our message, to help feed truthful information on calls we were dealing with. And then Jill did the same. She came right over from the City Office of Communications, stepped right in and helped us with media strategy, communication strategies, and they both together pulled together a team that really has done a phenomenal job for us over the last 2 months. And we couldn't have done it without you. So on behalf of all of us, the Chief has a citation and some coins for you, and please join me in thanking them for their efforts.
So I'll present you with both a department challenge coin and the Chief challenge coin. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for partnering with us in our time of need so that we could maintain that effective and transparent communication to our community. Thank you.
Not necessary, but very cool. I'm excited.
And JJ, it goes without saying, thank you for always being willing to step up and help out wherever needed, be it with the press information, be it with National Night Out, be it with this event. You are truly a utility player for us in the police department, and it's very much appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So at this point, that concludes all of our formal recognition. I would just like to, again, thank all the staff here for their tremendous efforts and work for our Redmond community. Again, I'd like to thank you for coming out and spending a bit of time with us to recognize the exemplary work. And I'd like to thank our community for joining in on Facebook Live. So with that, thank you very much.